Good evening, Germans, but we're not English, we're Scottish.
The German officer stepped forward. He told him to go back quickly.
Das ist hier nicht die Berliner Oper.
Sie haben recht. Das hier ist besser als Berlin.
The British officer lowered his guard. He approached the two men. Then the French officer also lowered his weapon. He crawled out of the trench. The soldiers had never seen anything like this. They were all dumbfounded. On Christmas Eve, everyone was tired of gunfire and artillery.
We were talking about a ceasefire. The outcome of this war won't be decided tonight. I don't think anyone would criticize us for laying down our rifles on Christmas Eve.
Don't worry, it is just for tonight.
The French officer returned to his position. He brought out champagne and glasses. He poured champagne for several people. It represented a moment of peace.
Merry Christmas.
Frohe Weihnachten.
Very Noel.
Suddenly, flares shot up into the sky. The soldiers applauded and cheered, as if they were enjoying fireworks. The Scotsmen climbed out of the trench. They walked toward the center of the battlefield. The French soldiers, seeing this, turned and pulled out red wine. A French scout who had just crawled to the other side still didn't know what was happening. When the Germans discovered him, they didn't treat him as an enemy. Instead, they brought out fine wine and kindly helped him up. For the first time being this close, everyone was somewhat nervous. Although they held wine in their hands, they didn't dare relax in the slightest. Seeing the Germans pull out chocolate, the French remained cautious. They had the Germans eat first. After confirming there was no problem, they began chewing heartily. Then they gave their own wine to the others in return. They also took out photos of their wives, introducing them to each other. After exchanging compliments, the atmosphere finally relaxed. They put down their weapons, gathered around to drink together. When the midnight bells rang, everyone assembled. They propped up a Bible with 3 rifles, then gathered around to pray. After the prayer ended, a German singer performed passionately for everyone. Although they didn't share the same language, Anna's singing seemed to have a kind of magic. It could pierce through national boundaries, dissolving barriers, making every soldier forget about the war at that moment. Afterward, they bid farewell to each other and returned to their own camps. As they left, the soldiers kept looking back. This friendship was precious. This brief peace was even more rare. Once they walked this path, they would be enemies again. A British soldier took this opportunity to find his brother's body. Looking at his frozen brother, the man was filled with thoughts. A German soldier came over wanting to share wine with him. Seeing the hot tears on his cheeks, he tactfully withdrew. The next morning, the sleeping German soldiers were awakened by digging sounds. Looking carefully, it was a British soldier digging a hole. The Germans thought the British were planting mines. They immediately prepared to fire. Just